So. It's been about 6 years, right, to the day that the Cleveland Cavaliers overcame a 3-1, deficit in the NBA Finals 2016, right? And so knowing that, it made me think of a very, very interesting question. Who would you say, Ahmad, is, or let's rank the greatest duos of all time in terms of pairs? Because obviously 6 years ago, we know what the hell Lebron James and Kyrie Irving did. But let's zoom out a little bit and think about the greatest duos in NBA history. I think I know who you may say at number one, but who if you had to guess, or if you had to, say your top, let's say top five duos of all time.
Number one, of course, is Kobe and Shaq for me. I think that should be everybody's number one. I think Golden State Warriors came close to three-peating, but I don't think we're probably going to ever see like a team probably three-peat again. I think Kobe and Shaq was so dynamic. I think the inside-outside combination was so lethal. You had this unstoppable being in the paint, and then you had Kobe Bryant, who was the second coming of Michael Jordan. So it's just kind of like their dominance was really, really something special. So, and once again, like, I don't think what has it been, like 20 years since the last time we saw a team?
That's kind of wild.
Three-peat. It's been 20 years. So that just goes to show you that, their greatness and their dominance was just so lethal. And they were legit, like, duo. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can talk about, like, other players on their roster, but there was no really, like, third borderline, like, all-star caliber guy. Like, you could look at, like, the Chicago Bulls, of course, with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, but they had kind of, like, other guys. Like, Dennis Rodman was a legitimate argument to be made that it was a big three when he came along, for their second tenure and stuff like that. So, for his duo, I kind of got to give the edge to Kobe and Shaq as number one.
I'm with that. I mean, I think that should be unanimous. Like, let's, especially too if we're talking about specifically duo, not just team or whatever, just straight up 1A, 1B, two best player on the team, like by far. It to me, it's not as close. I know there's 2 and 3. I feel like the top 3. Damn, I forgot. Whoo, actually, hold on.
Well, slow down now.
Yeah,
slow down now.
No, I got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
I still have Kobe and Shaq at 1. So I have Kobe and Shaq at 1. Number 2. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Steph and Kevin. I'm gonna go with Steph and KD.
Over Mike and
over Mike
Pippen?
and Scottie. Yeah, over Mike and Scottie.
That's crazy.
And you know what, too? There's another duo that, you know what?
That's crazy. Why? I need to hear, like, Scottie and Mike was special. I need to hear this, like, reason why you're going with Kevin Durant.
So, of all these great duos, I think Steph and KD complement each other the most out of all of them. Like, all these duos are obviously fantastic and great, but when you think about the spacing, right, that, Steph has been able to give KD, when you think about the pressure that has been taken off the shoulders of Steph and when Kevin Durant's on the court, like, so that's the reason why I say it is I think hand in hand they kind of need each other. Well, not need each other, but for me, they complement each other in a way that, like, those other guys may not have. And that doesn't mean, you feel me, that I'm saying they can't play well together.
I don't know about that because
I'm just saying,
I don't know about that because Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan complement each other very, very well.
Oh, they all did. Yeah.
Because Scottie's like, he played this point forward role and a do everything, dual forward type of role, which kind of allowed Michael Jordan just to focus on, like, scoring and then locking up in the two-way ability. We talk about a legitimate argument can be made that this is why, like, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, most people are going to say, like, oh, even over Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal, their two-way ability. Like, those guys were getting it done on the offensive side and then they were lethal on the defensive side. Like, argument can be made that they had the best two perimeter defenders. They probably were the best two perimeter defenders in the entire NBA, especially during the run. Also, like, for a winning percentage-wise, like, over the course of their tenure, they had the highest winning percentage, So it's just like, it's tough. Michael and Scottie was super tough. And for like ego-wise with those guys, there's a reason why those guys had won 6 championships because Scottie Pippen was like the perfect complementary superstar. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like ego-wise, like, that you have to talk about that when we talk about complimenting each other because it's just like some guys, it's hard for their ego to sustain something, have this longevity when we talk about winning, when we talk about success. That's part of the reason why Shaq and Kobe kind of like fell apart as well, compared to Mike and compared to Pippen. And also even like Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. Like Stephen Curry like allowed Kevin Durant to come on his team and kind of play second fiddle, but like egos kind of got in the way and collided. So it's just like that's tough.
That's true. That's
tough.
true. But the way I see it is like, of all, let's say, the top 4 or 5 duos, I feel like all of them as individuals could have been the best player on a championship team. Do you think that Scottie could have been the best player on a championship team?
I think Scottie proved that in the year that Michael Jordan was out golfing and playing baseball. It's not like he didn't take them to the finals, but he was damn near close. Like, and they won like 50+ games as well. So I think if Scottie Pippen had his own team in his prime, that especially the role and the play style that he kind of played, all his stats across the board increased without Michael Jordan. So that he gave us a little taste of probably what could have been if he was solo, and if you build a team around his strengths and all that stuff. So I definitely feel like that Scottie Pippen could have, led a team to a championship and stuff like that, especially in his prime.
Yeah, so that's fair. I mean, so do you have them at 2?
Yeah, I got. Okay. Of course, I got anything outside the top 2 is crazy to me, in my opinion. A little bit, because 6 championships, 6 out of 8 years, like it's tough. It's tough. That's a tough.
All right, so right now you have Kobe and Shaq at 1, and then you have Mike and Scottie at 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I have Kobe and Shaq at 1. I have Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant at 2.
I don't know if KD and Durant are.
Wait, who? Oh, KD and Steph.
Sorry, I don't know if KD and Steph are even my top 3. I mean, it's tough. Like, I don't.
Okay, you want to say you're a third, or you want me to get the parts out? Because I can say my third.
Go ahead.
So at number 3, I have LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. 2012 was a very scary year when you really think about like LeBron's overall career and everything that kind of happened during that entire year in terms of like just straight up greatness. And you mentioned the ego part, right? With just the idea of, in order for things to work, the superstar that's there first has to be willing to allow the other joining superstar to be a superstar. Steph had to do it with Kevin. Dwayne had to do that with LeBron, so on and so forth. And I think what happened down in Miami, obviously everyone talked about the big 3. And shout out to Chris Bosh too, right? Don't want to forget about, his contributions to those Miami teams. But peak Dwayne Wade, prime Dwayne Wade, like combine that with the forces of South Beach Bron. I got them at 3. I got them at 3. I do.
If I was a betting man, I was betting on Betway. I would think that most people wouldn't have them, like, if you can bet like the average person's like top 3 list. I think most people wouldn't have them in their top 3 of all time. And I love Dwayne Wade and I love LeBron James because I'm a diehard Dwayne. Dwayne was my favorite player of all time. So I grew up watching Dwayne Wade pre-LeBron and after LeBron, all that stuff. So I think you're forgetting one that a lot of old heads will probably be on your head about, but that's Kareem and Magic. Like, Kareem and Magic was special. I think 10 seasons together, 19 All-Star appearances, 5 championships. That's what they did together during their time. So legit, they could be probably higher. Like, that's tough. When you really think about it, like, that's tough. Also, they kept McHale and they kept Larry Bird away from, like, they won more championships during their run than the Boston Celtics. Look at me giving the old generation some praise.
That's what I'm saying. Wow.
it's crazy, right? But for as a duo standpoint, when you look at complimenting like each other very well, talk about complimenting each other, like Magic and Kareem, like Magic extended Kareem's entire career, his prime, thanks to Magic Johnson coming. Like, they won a championship together Magic Johnson's rookie season. So it's just kind of like they were a lethal duo. And also they played in a tough, like, era where it was just kind of like, the Boston Celtics, and then you had the bad boy Pistons and stuff like that. Then you had young Mike coming on the way as well. So I think my 3, I gotta include Kareem and Magic.
Okay, look at you, showing the old school some love. I respect it. It's about time.
Yeah.
But it was good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah,
you got two of top 5, arguably, players of all time together. I mean, that's not a crazy tape, but I'm gonna go the new school route. So far, I mean, obviously with but Kobe and Shaq, it's a little bit earlier. But even still, Kobe and Shaq, Steph, KD, LeBron, and
So
Dwade at
I'll
three.
go my number 4. If I had to pick, it's tough because like it's Kevin Durant and Steph or Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. I will argue that like which one? I mean, both are really exciting. I'll probably go Dwayne Wade. I'll probably go Dwayne and LeBron James just for a pure like excitement standpoint. Like watching them was kind of like amazing. Like the fast break transition, the alley oops, and like just the like energy, and also like LeBron playing the villain role, and just like LeBron James kind of coming to his own and being like that was like the start of his complete dominance of like this 8 years of going to the finals and stuff like that. It kind of started with Miami, and also the things he kind of overcome after losing the 2011 championship. Like, and then also just playing like those finals with the San Antonio Spurs and stuff like that, and that coming back. Oh man, it's tough because it's tough. I'm gonna go with Dwayne Wade and LeBron because I think it was just more exciting and fun. Let's take a minute to shout out our show sponsors at Betway. We are down to the final games of the NBA season, and it's time to get more out of each game day with Betway. Tatum versus Curry, Celtics versus Warriors. 2 heavyweights going head-to-head, but who's going to win it all? Download the app or visit Betway.com right now and lock in your wagers. Let's go. Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Virginia. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So
watching
funny.
Those two together.
I feel like we probably should have made a rule where like you can't repeat a player. And the reason why I say that is because, to be honest with you, we keep talking about LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, but LeBron could probably be on this list 3 different times.
Yeah.
LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah.
LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like, even though those were shorter stints.
Yeah.
Because I low-key was on the verge of saying LeBron and Kyrie in my top 3. But I thought, obviously, you feel me?
For excitement and talent-wise, and I think that was LeBron James' best like complementary like duo running partner. When we talk about it, we really get serious and active. We talk about like the teams LeBron James has been on, like for a complementary superstar, co-star. I think Kyrie Irving was his best, running mate over Anthony Davis and over Dwayne Wade. So I'm not really mad at it, but it's just like you look at the ring standpoint. Like
right.
He won 2 rings with Dwayne Wade and himself. So
yeah. At that point, it's out of just respect. But like, if we talking like one game, like here's the 2 guys that like, yo, let's go full 48 and try and win this.
Yeah,
having LeBron and Kyrie that high isn't as crazy as I think people may think it is. The only reason why I may say no to that is just because, again, the longevity and the overall, of that point. Obviously, they both handled business during the regular season, but like, it ain't a secret that when the finals came around, they kind of turned up a notch. But I'm gonna stay with LeBron and Wade at 3. So at number 4, right, for me, I won't get too crazy. I won't keep pushing these guys back. But I have Mike and Scottie. Let's not get too crazy. They're still 6-time champions. They're still like you mentioned, 2-way players. I mean, you think about the top 3 that I have though. I mean,
Shaq, KD, and then
Steph,
Dwayne Wade.
You feel me? Like they all won at least 2 chips together. I mean, obviously everyone that we're talking about has, but like, I mean, they're the only ones that I feel like injuries is what really stopped something of like, because who knows? Maybe, right, Kevin stays longer if they, win a chip and all that, or another one. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that have the question mark. But, we saw what Mike and Scottie did. We saw what Bron and Wade did. We saw what Magic and Kareem did. But you can make a strong case that if that team doesn't break up and they stay together, like, the hell with three-peats. Like, because there would have been no one remotely close to them. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, the what-if game is always dicey because you can do that with any and everything, but, like, there ain't too many for sure what-ifs when it comes to teams like that. Like, who the hell is beating the Warriors? Like, unless LeBron links up with, like, him No, I can't even say that because hell, if you'd have told me then if he had LeBron and AD and like Russ or whoever like a third superstar, I would have said they would have won. But that's another a testament too to the Warriors' greatness. Of having Steph and KD. Like it's not easy just when you have talent. Like it still requires a certain level of chemistry. So, but yeah, I have Mike and Scottie at 4. Two-way. Okay. I mean, you brought up a good point too. You're talking about two of the best wing defenders on the same team. So good luck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I know we talk about PG and Kawhi like that, but like they're not Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They ain't won nothing. That's
what I'm saying. Well, even that too. But that just shows you, the level in which these two guys play at. But yeah, I got Mike and Scottie at 4. At 5. Got Magic and Kareem. I mean, got to round out the 5 with some chips, with some purple and gold. I was trying to think if there's like some honorable mention or someone out there that's even like remotely close, but there's not.
I mean, my 5 is Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. I feel like from a talent perspective, a legit argument can be made. They're probably the most talented duo, like to be combined together. When you look at like 1A, 1B type of situation, and it was special. And like you said, like if they didn't break up or if Kevin Durant didn't get hurt, they probably are winning that series against the Toronto Raptors. Like if Kevin Durant wasn't hurt before the series started and kind of like was active the entire playoffs, they're three-peating. And then who knows? Like for your point, it's just kind of like, does Kevin Durant do it one more time? Try to do an impossible. Say like, all right, I'm gonna sign a 1-year deal, or and try to 4-peat and then bounce. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been scared. They were that talented. Like that's the first time that healthy-wise, if they're healthy, that was one team that I felt like, they was gonna 3-peat, and then a real serious question could have been like, all right, now, if Kevin Durant stays for 1 year, is he going to like, can they 4-peat? So
yeah, and I think a 4-peat is crazy when you really think about it.
It's crazy when you think about it.
When really, 4, like in the NBA, when we're talking about like these are the best of the best, the elite of the elite. It's not like okay, like especially too. I like one thing to me that's so special about 3-peats and winning back-to-back chips, all that, is that outside of the talent, you're now playing with a target on your back, right? Mm-hmm. Like everyone wants to beat you. Everyone wants to prove like, all right, we took down the champs / they not like this. They're not as good as everyone else or the media is making them out to be. But I think, when you kind of can collect all that talent, combine all that chemistry and still win chips, it's something special.
And it's crazy thing is because the reason why I got also like Kevin Durant and LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry in my back end in my top 5 is because I feel like out of those other 3, they kind of underachieve. Both of those duos together. If we really being serious.
Which ones?
Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Like a legitimate argument can be made like, 2 championships, Dwayne Wade and LeBron won 2 championships. A legitimate argument can be made that both of those guys, they probably should have 3-peated. Now I know such scenarios and injuries and stuff like that happen, but it's just kind of like the hypeness that went into Kevin Durant signing with Golden State and the hypeness went to LeBron James signing with Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. It was kind of like our expectations, everybody's expectations was like, oh shit, we about to see another 3-peat. We about to see the first 3-peat since Kobe and Shaq. Oh shit, we about to see the first 3-peat since Kobe and Shaq. And for that not to happen, that's why I can't have like those guys as high on my list when we talk about all-time duels, when we talk about Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Kareem, and Magic, and also we talk about Kobe and Shaq. So,
but there's reasons for some of that.
Of course.
And you already know I'm not trying to give out any excuses, but I think obviously the 2011 finals, there's no excuses. But I think towards the end of that, their 4-year run in Miami, there was some but that
should have been that's what I said. But you talk about 2011,
right.
that should have been a 3-peat.
Right,
should have beat that.
But the Warriors don't really have that though. Like they lost to Toronto, but it wasn't like Kevin Durant was out there. Now, how they lost to Toronto when Kevin Durant was out there? Oh my gosh!
Let me tell you something. It was a lot of calls. One could argue that they shouldn't even made it past the Houston Rockets. Like it was a lot of if you go back and look at that series, it was a lot of crazy calls that went to go the same ways. And it was Very, very questionable.
I'm not entertaining that. I'm not entertaining that.
It's very,
now,
very,
now, if
very
you wanna say,
questionable.
now with injuries and stuff, the Chris Paul situation, that all right, cool.
That's true.
Right,
that
I'll
as well.
accept. But
That
I'm
as
not
well.
about to sit here like I don't like it was calls. Come on.
No, it was that game was nasty. When you go reviewing and stuff like that, and you watch it, and you just like, yo, that was a bad like refereeing job that took place, and then also Chris Paul got hurt as well.
I'll give Rockets fans that benefit of the doubt. All right, your Hall of Fame point guard was injured. Okay, there's ain't no X's and O's in the world that can replace Chris Paul. But the officiating missed me with that. There's a lot of Kings fans that feel that way too about
and then they had
Kobe
that right.
and Shaq's.
They had that right. They had that right.
They had that right, but guess what? It didn't happen.
Yeah.
You get mad at the referees all you want. Because the thing is too, like, obviously, officiating sometimes sucks, but I don't know about you, bro, but I've never met a good referee. I've never met a ref that made like 10 out of 10 great calls. And also too, look at what teams are doing over the course of the game and just overall season. It's like, I'm sure that there were things that the Rockets could have done during that game. I'm sure that there's things that the Kings could have done during those games. So
the Rockets went like
focus on yourself.
It missed like what 15 threes in a row and stuff like that.
Come on
There's
now.
a whole lot of situations.
Like you what? One for 25, one for 27, or some crazy ass stat from three. If you shoot that poorly from three, do you really think it's come on now? Like some of this really is a look yourself in the mirror kind of thing. Now again, officiating could be bad. I'm not going to say that it was tip-top shape, whatever. But at the same time, don't make it seem like, you done made 25 threes. You know what I'm saying? You held a certain player to a shitty field goal percentage.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on now.
That's why we got to give James Harden his flowers, because James Harden was the only superstar that probably took the most talented team, really went to war with the most talented team. When we talk about Mike D'Antoni, Chris Paul, and James Harden, like we look, it's no doubt in my mind that for a talent perspective, like the Golden State Warriors probably was the most talented team like for the past like 15 years. So James Harden was going to war with those guys was pretty impressive.
I agree, but you probably extend that 15 to like
20.
Yeah,
20 plus.
On the top of my head, I don't know
plus,
who in the world.
Yeah,
Maybe okay if you want to get active with those Miami Heat teams, but even still, I mean,
you
rolling out three guys. You rolling out three guys that have the potential of giving you 12 threes in a game each.
Yeah.
Like
it was crazy.
That's scary. On the do you know how crazy it is to have one player that could do that? They had three of them.
Was that a year where Clay would drop like 60, like 10?
They had
55 or 50? What was it? 50? Was 50 or 60 with 10 dribbles or
he had
five dribbles?
Oh, you're talking about the game against the Kings. He had 14 threes in 2.5 quarters. Do you understand how reckless that is for that to be your third best player?
No. Yeah, second greatest shooter of all time. Just third best player on your team.
What a time. So let's say your top five again. Your top five duos of all time.
Top five duos of all time is Kobe and Shaq, number one. Number two, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Number three, Magic and Kareem. Number four, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. Number five, Kevin Durant, and Stephen Curry.
Okay. It's not a bad list. We got the same names but different order.
No.
So my top five duos of all time in order. All right. I got Kobe and Shaq at one, Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant at two. Number three, I have LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. Number four, I have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And at number five, I have Magic and Kareem.
Yeah, now this is resume.
That's a solid list.
This is resumes and what they did together and stuff like that. Not talent.
Yeah.
If we talk about strictly talent perspective, LeBron and Kyrie. LeBron and Kyrie is in my top 3-5 for a talent perspective. It gets scary. And then Kobe and Shaq, number one. And then Kevin Durant probably be Kevin Durant and Steph probably be in there. Just strictly talent, it gets kind of list kind of changed a little bit.
Are there any honorable mentions? Are there?
Kyrie and LeBron,
Kyrie,
Bird,
Bron,
McHale.
Yeah, Bird, McHale.
If you want to talk about Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, their dominance.
Steve Nash and Amari. No. I'm just throwing out names now. These are
those
obviously my duos now.
Please, we can talk about Gary Payton and Sean Kemp before that.
Oh, that's the same thing though. That's the same thing.
Not really. They went to the finals together.
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna name someone else that I forgot that got some chips.
No. But they were Steve Nash and Amari
First of all,
nowhere close to Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Nowhere close.
You can make
nowhere
case.
close. There's no case. No, you can't. No, you
You
can't.
can make a case.
They won. No, you can't. No, you can't. They
Who
won
was it?
60 games. They won 60 games and won 6 games against the GOAT. No, it's no case at all. It's no case at all.
Was it Tracy that came on and was like, it was, hold on, I don't even want to say a name because I don't want to misquote anyone. But it was like, dude used to be scared to guard Sean, like the All-Star game or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Force,
so
yeah.
he was a force.
Yeah.
I'll say shout out to Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
No.
At this point, I'm just shouting out.
Okay.
I'm just shouting out now. You heard the 5 names we just said. You think we about to go from, here's a list of guys that won 2 chips, and they all been MVP candidates.
Karl Malone and John Stockton.
I'm good
them
on
out of there
that.
too.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm good.
Chris Paul and James Harden was hard too. That was a hard. That was tough. They just ran up against the Warriors.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That was tough.
Shit happens. Does anybody else that kind of sticks to mind? I mean, anybody current?
KG, Paul George, Paul
Who?
Pierce.
Oh, KG, Paul Pierce.
Kevin Garnett.
Wow.
Paul Pierce.
See, that's the only thing too about these duos is that some of them are big threes, so it's like the third guy kind of gets left off.
Yeah.
So like the Chris Bosches of the world, the Manus of the world,
Kobe and Paul.
Yeah.
That's a sleeper.
Yeah. So I mean, there's
that was a legit duo. That was a legit duo. People don't talk about it. Very, very probably one of the most underrated duos when we talk about it. Kobe and Paul Gasol. A lot of people want to say that Paul Gasol's not a top 75 player of all time. He damn near close. Like he was special, you know.
And when you look at all the damn names that's on that list, nasty work.
Let's hear it for our show partners at Betway. Time to get in on the action. The NBA Finals are here, and you could take home series winnings from building your own parlays to Betway Boost. Show off your expertise with each wager and make every game feel as exciting as Game 7. We love using our app as one of our stop shop for everything sports betting. Download the app or visit betway.com today. Let's get it. Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Virginia. Parlays and boosters available on certain selections only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, you got a cap or no cap?
No, I didn't got a cap or no cap. I got to, if you're all right. So as this recording, it's 2-2 right now in the NBA Finals. If you were betting on Betway, by the time we record again, who's leading the series? The Golden State Warriors or the Boston Celtics?
So, it's so funny. By the time the next episode drops, the series may be over, low key.
Well, depending on if we record before or something, you never know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're right. Either way, Warriors in 6, just so we're clear.
This guy is crazy. This guy is just crazy.
What you mean? I'm crazy? Steph Curry just reminded the world who the hell he was. What are we doing here? I'm not crazy. Come on now. Ooh.
It's still close too. It's not like he's
of course.
He's having to have an all-time great finals for them to win close games to barely score 100 points or a little bit over 100. So that should be like, if you're going to say Warriors, enjoy Stephen Curry doing this, but you should be worried a little bit. Like he's doing this and it's just kind of like they're barely even scoring over 100 points. It's just like Draymond has been absolutely ridiculous. And the attention on Draymond playing so poorly is taken away from another Golden State Warrior, part of his big three, playing very poorly as well, which is Klay Thompson as well. So if Steph can get any some type of help, I would say, okay, I understand your prediction. But I still think it goes 7. And also, Jason Tatum. I hope that I come back to this recording and I'm say what I'm going to say and it happens. But Jason Tatum, brother, I need you to have a moment.
Brother.
I need you to. I understand what you have a lot of responsibility. You're playing the LeBron James role, the Luka Doncic role, to do everything type of role as a forward. I know it's hard. I know it's not what you're accustomed to doing on, the nightly basis. But brother, I need you to just show up and score. And I need you to have because the shots that you're taking are shots that you normally hitting. I need him to have a moment. Like, I need him to leave a mark on this finals. Whether they win or lose, like, I need it to be like where people can say,
I'm here.
these next 3 games, he was here. He arrived. He showed up. He left it all on the court. I need that. You know, I had to.
Because even with Book, right? Even though, they lost to the Bucks,
Exactly.
he's
those
here.
Those last, even though they won 4 straight in a row, Book was like, you ain't gonna be able to say it was my fault. Or I ain't show up at least. That's all. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm really asking. Win or lose, I don't want nobody. You know how it is. Like you play pickup. You play in the play in college. You play in the NBA. You play. Listen, at the end of the day, if we lose, ain't nobody gonna point at you didn't do this. You didn't do that. Because that's a horrible feeling. That's when you start really being like, damn, that's a terrible feeling. That's a horrible feeling. Like that's one of the worst feelings, especially if you're the best player on your team. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like a role player or something, role players are hit or miss or some shit like that. If you're the third star,
not even.
He's a third option star for a reason. But if you're the 1 and 2 guys, like, especially if you're the number 1, people are gonna look and say, like, you wasn't here.
Yeah.
Like,
but, if you are that star player, you can say, well, shit, I did what I had to do. I don't know about what the hell they had going on.
LeBron James losing the finals, he walks off the court like, shrugging my shoulders like, it wasn't me.
That's a little different, though. That's a little different, though, slightly. The age thing. Because I think at this point in his career, Devin Booker, I don't say he has to prove anything, but, remind, inform.
No, true. All I'm saying is LeBron James lost during that 10-year. LeBron James had lost a lot in the finals. But other than 2011, that's the only time I can really point to saying, like, LeBron, my brother, you ain't really show up. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't your normal self. Every other finals he's been there, the ones he's won, he showed up. The ones he's lost, he's exceedingly showed up. Not even like just showing up, like he's excelled and showed up. Like, yo, like, what more can I do? 2017, first person to average a triple-double. 2015 against the Golden State Warriors, led every statistical category in the NBA Finals. 2018, the brother was so damn tired. It was a battle in the first round, the second round, the third round. Came out, dropped 55 points, and then they still lost because J.R. Smith did one of the most dumbest plays in NBA history. And it's just kind of like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Nobody was looking at that series like, oh, shit. You look at that roster like, okay, well, Bron, you wasn't really, you showed up.
You had Superman at the end of the day, bro.
We get it. Like, we get it. We understand. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I need JT to have a moment.
Oh, all right, you're right. All right, got you. It circles back to that. Okay, yeah. You and me both, because I'm going to tell you something. Him making it to the finals is obviously impressive. Him being 2 wins away from winning an NBA title at his young age, very impressive. At the same time, you're this close to win the chip, so take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And also too, like, you don't know if you're gonna be back every day. Yeah, you don't know if you're gonna be back.
You don't know if you're gonna be back. You don't know if you do not know if you're going to be back. Everybody, what LeBron does is like Kobe
LeBron
and Michael Jordan.
Is not, like, listen to the names y'all are saying.
Exactly.
Listen to the names that y'all are saying.
And Kevin Durant and Steph and Curry, like that's not really normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, people always talk about LeBron James lost in the finals. I have to always constantly remind people, most people are 0-0. Most people have never been. Most people haven't even tasted. Like, haven't even smelt it. It took Chris Paul 14 damn years to get a taste of it. And he may not even be back. He may not even be back. You know what I'm saying? He probably will never, like, the Suns, they dropped the ball this year. Like, it's a wrap. Like, they about to get rid of DeAndre Ayton, that whole situation.
It's getting nasty in the Valley. It's getting nasty.
It's botched, So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you don't know what can happen. Team situation, players get disgruntled, players leave, coaches get fired, people get hurt. Like, even Lakers fans, like the 2020. If people told me that after the 2020 NBA Finals that the Lakers would get knocked out in the first round, did not make the playoffs, and they got Anthony Davis and LeBron James on their roster, both of us would say, y'all crazy as hell. But you just don't know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So.
And also too, that like, because Jason is the best player on his team, and he's not like young, like 19, 20 years old. people will look at this and say like, yo, well, you didn't show it when it mattered the most. And he hasn't been playing like, ass.
No.
But I mean, like, just the idea of like,
he has a lot of.
It's now or never.
He has a lot of responsibility, but it's just kind of like nobody's gonna feel bad. Like this is you're here. Like you got to do what you got to do. Like if you got to play LeBron James role, all right, do it well. He's been playing it well. Like I'm saying, it's just his shooting and scoring. Like when we talk about like he's missing shots that he normally makes. You know what I'm saying? You can't shoot 31% from the field. This finals is just like, still, that's going to negate all the other stuff that you're doing because even though you're winning games, it's tied 2-2. We know what you do. We know what your best attribute is. We know what people talk about Jason Tatum. They don't talk about, damn, Jason Tatum is a phenomenal passer. They don't talk about his defense. What do they talk about first? His scoring, putting the ball in the hoop. JT, my brother, St. Louis is room for you. We need you to have a moment.
Please
Simple
do.
as that.
Please do. Please do. I mean, it's now or never. I mean, this season comes down to 3 games. First one or two. First one or two.
How bad do you want it?
It's so funny. These 2 games or next out of these 3 games total are more important than literally the first 82 of the entire season. Like if you go out and get active,
400. How many games he ever played in his life,
including the
his entire career. These 3 games are the most important of your career. All the games you played, all the 50 points, 60 points, none of that matters. These 3 games are, and we say 3 because like you say,
well, best of 3, best of 3
because it's just like you may win one, you may lose both. You know what I'm saying? Or you may win both, so it could be 2. You know what I'm saying? Like 3, we talk about like, okay, it's going to be a game 7, which I feel like it's going to be. I feel like the Warriors are going to win tonight, and I feel like they're going to come back, and then Boston's going to win. I think we're going to game 7 in San Francisco. That was my prediction all along. I'm going to stick with it, but my friend over here says, you said 5, you didn't move to 6. So
I got to say 6 now. I know. I can't say 5.
I'm saying, but you think it's, you think it's these next 2 is
I think
it's a wrap.
I think it's over. I think Boston's best chance to really like take a commanding lead obviously is over, but I think that was their best shot. Right, you're up 2-1.
You may be right. I
mean, and again, it's not over. It's still tied. I'm not like
no. But I don't just talk about protecting the home court. The same reason why I felt about Golden State Warriors in the beginning. The same thing you felt about the Boston Celtics. Like right now, that you're up 2-1, like 3-1. Then you give yourself some breathing room. Like
exactly.
It's a lot of pressure to come out and win tonight. It's a lot of.
That's nothing. I don't know who the pressure's on. I don't know who the pressure's on, to be honest.
I think it's on. I think it's on Boston, low key. I think it's on Boston because even though I feel like the Golden State Warriors are going to win tonight and the Boston Celtics is going to win because I feel like they're going to split at home. You don't want to get the champs. Like these guys been there. They're a dynasty. You don't want to give them up 3-2. They may smell blood. And these young guys may get tight. Game 6, they may get tight.
But though, I hear you. But I'm gonna give Boston. Yeah, I'm gonna give Boston the benefit of the doubt just because they've proven that they can come back, down from 3-2.
True.
So I'm gonna give them that. Obviously, the Warriors do have championship pedigree, right? Give them their flowers. But at the same time, the Celtics have gone out and proven, like, okay, back against the wall. We're down 3-2.
How many times do you want to do that? It's like,
but you keep playing. Some teams thrive in that, though.
Some teams do thrive with the pressure, but you keep playing with fire, you're gonna get burned eventually.
These are facts.
You can't every round. You can't be down. Like who knows?
But though, stranger things have happened. As we started this episode talking about 6 years ago, Bron and Kyrie and the Cavs come back down from 3-1. There were so many. Oh, this series is over. It's clear. This curtains.
Yeah, true.
And they ended up winning. So the Celtics, they it's tied 2-2. You know what I'm saying? They've came back from worse before, so it's not over. But yeah, y'all, make sure obviously tap in with Betway, all right, for the rest of these NBA Finals games. Get active with sports betting and all that, all right? Hit up Betway as soon as possible. All right. And of course, housekeeping items for everybody out there. Make sure you subscribe to No Pump Fakes wherever you get your podcasts, all right? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, subscribe as well on YouTube. All right, subscribe to No Pump Fakes on YouTube, y'all. And just like that, we gone. Peace.
It's your boy, AK Smith, also known as AK. Make sure you guys go follow No Pump Fakes wherever you get your podcasts.